This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley Smith.
Good day and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Today is Friday, August 30th of 2024. We're so glad you can join us for today's show, the last one of the month of August. Hard to believe that this month has gone by already. It felt like it's gone really fast and also really slow with all of the coverage we have done throughout the month. In today's episode of Ag Matters PM, I have some more coverage from our trip to the Farm Progress Show in Boone, Iowa. Always nice to have that home field advantage when it comes to that. I'll have conversations with the folks at CLAAS and Landus to bring to you later on. But first, let's hear a word from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. At the Farm Progress Show, innovation is at the forefront of discussion, and I had a couple of great conversations on some great innovations in the ag industry. First off, with the folks at CLAAS, I had the chance to talk about FarmPoint. And get started here. All right. Here with Daryl Tice of CLAAS, and we are talking about FarmPoint today at the Farm Progress Show here in Boone, Iowa. FarmPoint, I think, a great solution to kind of the retail problem that might affect some farmers. You know, getting to the parts store can be a little bit of a chore sometimes. So tell us a little bit about, first off, just FarmPoint in general and the benefits it really offers for those producers, especially in rural areas.
Yeah, absolutely. So CLAAS FarmPoint is a mobile-first dealership designed around bringing the dealership to the customer. And if you think about it, many of these customers have their own shops. And we like to bring the technician and the parts to the dealership to work on that farmer's, in this case, maybe combine or tractor, whatever it might be. And if you're a customer, hey, great benefits, right? I don't have to spend time taking my equipment to the store. I don't have to spend time driving to the store to pick up the part. The dealership will bring it to you, whether that's the technician or the part or even the sales advice you need on the piece of equipment you're looking at.
And we know for producers, I believe I heard the stat is about $150 an hour that you're losing by not being out there in the field. Growing up, you know, when my dad would have to make a parts run, it's an hour round trip just to get to the store and back, not even considering figuring out the problem, getting the part itself and making sure that it's all in the machine. So obviously kind of a big problem for producers being able to have that availability. So having that ability to get out with FarmPoint, obviously a great boon for producers. How widespread is FarmPoint at this point, you know, just across the Midwest?
Yeah, so we've got a number of stores across the Midwest, and really CLAAS FarmPoint is a solution that we use to fill in some of the holes in our distribution channel. So we've got some locations in Kentucky, Indiana, and then we just added a new location in Lamars, Iowa, and then looking for our fourth location in kind of the Webster City, Fort Dodge area. Yet to be determined on where exactly, but targeting that north central Iowa.
And is this the whole 9 yards? Are we looking at like diagnostics for the problem and then the part hopefully the same day? Or how does that process work once FarmPoint is being used by a producer?
Yeah, a FarmPoint dealership will be a full solution dealership from start to beginning, diagnostics to repair to parts. Our aim is to be able to get customers up and running that day, of course. But most certainly it depends a little bit on when the customer has a failure as well. Right? If somebody fails in the morning, our chances of getting them up and running that day is much greater than if somebody fails maybe later in the afternoon or in the evening. But this model is about speed, and it's about going to the customer, and that's our aim, is to keep customers running. You mentioned the cost that it has from an hour perspective to be down. Well, farmers today have a whole system or an operation that is relying on what could be a combine. And if one piece of equipment goes down, it might mean 4 or 5 supporting pieces of equipment go down, which means 4 or 5 other operators are down as well. So we truly understand the need to have a speedy and successful resolution, and that's what we're aiming to deliver.
Thanks again to the folks at CLAAS for inviting the media out there for a special event to show us the latest innovations that they brought to the show. I also had the chance to visit with Matt Carson, CEO of Landus, to talk about some of the announcements they made at the Farm Progress Show. The first of which is the focus of discussion for today, of a focus on some rural healthcare options for farmers. And you touched on that conduit focus on healthcare. You guys just yesterday made that big announcement of an increased focus on rural healthcare and having that available for farmers. You and I have talked plenty of times before about how that can be difficult to get the proper healthcare. If you're in a rural area, you might be 40 minutes away from the closest just immediate healthcare, not to mention if you have something that needs further healthcare. So, just tell us a little bit about what went behind that decision and what it's going to be like moving forward.
Yeah, you mentioned it really well. What we've heard clearly from our farmers is that health coverage was a problem, from a cost, from service, ability, all those things. And so we started this journey 2 years ago, and this is a tough one. Many others have tried it and not been successful. But we've got the right partner with Momentum Ag. We've had 2 or 3 others. We got quite a ways down the road and found reasons that we just didn't think it would go the distance. We feel really good about Momentum. For one, the cost. Our farmers and their employees and even in rural communities will expand it down the road, be able to save over 10 to 15%. The coverage is nationwide, including Mayo, which a lot of people worry about. Will they be able to get coverage up at Mayo clinics? So that's a yes. But for me, the favorite is at-home care. So this company sends out a little care package that allows a device to sync with your phone. When you call up the virtual healthcare provider that they provide, it's instantaneous appointment and zero copay. That machine lets the doctor look ears, nose, throat, looks at skin, temperature, lungs, all the things that a doctor would need to do right in the comfort of your home or from the comfort of your tractor, either auto-steered or parked, but able to get that appointment, see what's going on, getting necessary prescriptions called in, and keep doing what we do, because we know that's what rural lives by. So this was not something I thought we'd tackle. I've learned way more about health coverage than I'd like to. But in fact, we had one farmer tell me I know nothing about it, and at the time he was 100% right. But I did know there was a problem. And if there's a problem with our farmers, we have an obligation being owned by them to solve this. And that's what I'm proud of the team putting that together.
And I want to touch on that because you mentioned that many have tried before to get rural healthcare like this going, but not succeeded. Since you're run by farmers, I think you might be, uniquely positioned to tackle that issue, because run by farmers, you work so closely with them and are so intertwined with what they're thinking that I imagine it's been helping a lot to use that relationship with those producers and get exactly what they are wanting to see from this.
Well, no doubt. I think Momentum Ag brings an element of that's really powerful, and being based there in Waukee kind of helps that. I think the other piece is, if somebody wants to come after this, you're coming after a bunch of farmers. So I think they would be very wise to support what's happening here and help our farmers and their employees and in the future rural communities get what they need. That's what this is about. This isn't about who's got domination or who got a law passed that allows everyone to stay out of the market. This is about doing what our farmers need. And choice is always good, particularly choice that allows them to advance their coverage or their whatever they need of support. And this is doing just that.
That again was Landus CEO Matt Carson. You can find our full conversation by clicking right here on your screen. Before we end off today's episode of Ag Matters PM, let's go ahead and take a look at the closing markets for today.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
At the end of another trading day in the ag marketplace, we're here with Curt Kimmel of agmarket.net. Curt, at the end of this week, what are we seeing in the grain markets happening today?
Well, it was hurry up and wait most of the weekend through here. A 3-day weekend ahead of us, and the end of the month was here on Friday also. So the market was actually positive going home here Friday. Corn was up 5 to 6 cents, soybeans 7 to 8 cents higher, and the wheat market up 4 to 5 cents a bushel going into the close there. But 3-day weekend, no markets Sunday evening or Monday during the day. Trade resumes Monday evening at 7 o'clock. Fun short covering end of the month. I think the market kind of ran out of sellers. We had a lot of producers move grain here prior to Friday, and I think the markets absorbed that now. Hurry up and wait. oftentimes seasonally we put a little low in here, so we'll watch the market real close. Coming into Friday's trade deliveries, we had 416 wheat contracts, 6 soybeans, 4 oats, 12 corn, 35 bean oil, and 0 meal contracts delivered here on the September. Pretty good stoppers, commercial stoppers in the wheat and oil. So there's some opportunity for these commercials to take some deliveries here, sell the deferred contracts, and capture some of that carry in the marketplace. Saw some sales just about every day this week. Export interest has picked up here dramatically since the beginning of summer here. As we finish out summer, buyers are starting to come to the table. China bought 132,000 tons of beans, sold 100,000 tons of meal cake to Colombia. Export sales are exceeding expectations, so that's kind of a positive to see this demand come forward here at these lower prices.
All right, Curt, and then on the other side of the ag marketplace with the livestock complex, how are cattle and hogs looking, especially as we head into this Labor Day weekend?
The fat market took it on the chin, but about $1 or $2. We're 184, 183. Cutouts and box values were just a little bit weak. Beef exports down to 17.2, so they're a little sloppy in through here. September's usually down or not a very rambunctious up move in beef. Thing to watch is post-holiday restocking, see how this weekend goes on meat movement. Cattle futures closed up 75-80 cents on the day, 290 on the week. Hogs finished up $1.60 on the week, and they were up all 5 to 20 cents on the day. Hams, bellies, loins, all kind of steady this whole week. Pork exports had a pretty good jump. We sold 42. That's 59% higher. Mexico, China, South Korea were all in there as buyers here on the export side.
All right, Curt, lots of great information today. For those of our listeners who would like to get in touch and learn more from the folks at agmarket.net, how can they do that?
1-800-779-1515 or go to agmarket.net.
All right, Curt, thanks again for the analysis as always, and we look forward to chatting again soon.
Very good. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend.
That again was Curt Kimmel of agmarket.net. We'll take a look at how the numbers officially closed through the market window at iowaagnet.com. At the close, September corn up 6 1/4 at $3.78 even. September soybeans up 8 1/4 at $9.82 even. September soybean meal up $3 at $3.1160. Soybean oil down 3 cents at $43.14. Chicago wheat up 7 3/4 at $5.32 3/4. Kansas City hard red wheat up 7 even at $5.52 1/2. Minneapolis spring wheat up 11 1/4 at $5.73 3/4. September oats down 20 1/4 at $3.28 3/4. On the Merc, October live cattle up 70 cents at $178.60. September feeders up 97 cents at $240.47. October lean hogs up a nickel at $82.22. Pork cutout up 5 cents as well at $91.22. And September Class 3 milk up 22 cents at $22.40. And that's been a check of the closing markets. Thanks again to the folks at agmarket.net for joining us every day for that closing market summary. That brings us to the end of today's episode of Ag Matters PM. Thanks again for tuning in. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. Also follow us on social media at Facebook, X, LinkedIn, and TikTok, and find our video content as well as previous episodes of AM PM on our YouTube channel. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to see when those videos go live. Don't forget as well our morning, midday, and closing market podcasts, as well as the Iowa Ag Matters podcast and Pods of Potential. You can find those on your favorite podcasting service at Apple, Amazon, Spotify, and Podbean. From the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network studios in Des Moines, I'm Riley Smith. On behalf of Mark Magnuson, Andy Peterson, and Dustin Huffman, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.